Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Shantia here. So welcome back to my channel for another review of Married at First Sight. This is going to be for the reunion part 2. So it's finally come to a close. Of course, Lifetime always has to hit us with the after episodes. So they did a episode of the Where Are They Now? And because there was so much to unpack and it was a whole 2-hour episode, I'm going to go ahead and do a review for that next week. So if you guys are new to this channel, make sure you subscribe and also hit that bell notification so that you have a reminder whenever I post videos. You'll be the first to see it. And I love it when people participate in the discussions. My thing is always about gathering enough information to see things from a clear perspective. I never want to be biased about my perspective or my point of view. I always want to see both sides or all sides and then come to a point of view that resonates the most with me. Let's start off with Michaela and Zach. So as we know, Michaela and Zach are way too immature to stabilize a relationship. Therefore, why is Zach dating? And I see rushing into something. I think we're starting to pick up on his pattern because he wants what he wants. He's impatient. And unfortunately, impatience matched with immaturity makes for really impulsive, bad decision making that is not serving you. So his thing is just learning, stop doing that. Stop making impulse decisions. Stop being impatient. Start actually reassessing and looking at what you need to work on, what's not functioning right. He said that he was sleeping with Michaela because he felt bad for rejecting her. So on some levels, I feel like Zach is almost too... Nice isn't quite the word. I almost want to say empathetic. Like, he senses that people want things from him and he gives it to them. And I've actually talked about this in my previous videos to the point that he was sacrificed, but he's careless and he's not at that mature age where he can take full accountability for what he's doing. So he'll jump into careless situations with people that he should not be doing, not fully taking accountability for the consequence or thinking about the consequence of how it's going to turn up. So if he continues to rush into situations without psychologically doing the healing and reassessing why his mind thinks the way it does, why he's so skittish, then he's going to continue to run into the same situations. I think what Michaela and Zach really displayed well on Married at First Sight is that they are the ultimate trigger point for one another. You have Zach, who's very skittish and careless, and you have Michaela, who's very... she takes relationships and emotions so intense, and she also makes it about herself, whereas Zach is all about wanting to give to the point where he's not thinking about how giving is miscommunicating how he doesn't want to participate anymore. He has no boundaries. People want to call him manipulative. I just feel bad for him because I think he really is kind of giving himself so much to the point where Michaela she literally thinks, hey, you owe me an apology. I deserve to be treated better from you, or she does deserve to be treated better. They both deserve to be treated better, but she takes no accountability. So she's the ultimate, the worst partner to be placed with him because she takes no accountability. She puts it on her partners to go through everything and be the blame of that. And I just want to say this, when you're in the partnership, if you're being triggered, that's your subconscious fears and beliefs that are coming up for you to deal with. If you don't deal with it, it's going to continue to be a problem, period. Sometimes we have these tendencies where we want to blame people for our feelings and our emotions. I'm like, no, the feelings are happening inside of you in response to what this person is doing. Your job is to think about why it's happening. And the thing is, accountability, I've said it before, is freedom. When you take accountability, you free yourself to being able to take control of your life and make decisions. Michaela will internally always be a 16-year-old who's blaming the world for her problems because she never takes accountability. Now, I think Michaela, I don't know if it was in this episode or if it was in the Where Are They Now, I think she acknowledged that she was seeing a therapist, which I think is great. The thing is, what you bring to therapy is what you get out of therapy. So if you're bringing self-awareness, guess what? You're going to learn so much. Otherwise, you're just self-diagnosed. So I've noticed a pattern that people who tend to hold on to or depend on or be codependent on therapy is they focus so much on the diagnosis. You're supposed to take that diagnosis and tackle the problem and do the work. That diagnosis is supposed to point to the healing and the solution that you're supposed to take action on and you're supposed to do the work on. A lot of people do hold on to therapy as a codependent way to not deal with their problems. So hopefully she fully starts to take accountability and starts to see that, but that's just up to her. It may take time. And the thing that makes it kind of worse is that she has a way of warping things to her delusion, her emotions. She warps the narrative to benefit her. And so she's so good at it that I have a hard time seeing that she's going to be able to get out of that delusion of being in her own world where she's the only one who's right. She's displayed the narcissistic, the vindictive, the manipulative ways. She's kind of a good example of why people continue on with bad behavior. She is being coddled by her family, right? You see her sisters, she has an amazing relationship with her sisters. They're very caring and considerate towards her, but it's like, okay, what are they doing that she can't fully be an adult and take responsibility for her actions? Because she's so close to them, they're probably going to be the ones that are going to help her to wake up. But they adore her so much and they adore her beautiful qualities so much that these negative traits are not being addressed. So hopefully she can work on that. Zach and Michaela, I wish the best for the both of them. Hopefully they can learn from their situation and learn something. You know, at least Michaela understood the benefit of therapy and acknowledging her issues, but I have yet to fully see her, even in the media, social media, take full accountability for, I did this. I did it. Not the diagnosis. I did this. Okay. Let's go ahead and move on to Johnny and Val. So, you know, I am kind of tired of Johnny because Johnny doesn't take accountability and he puts so much pressure onto Val to be the reason why the relationship isn't working when he's actually self-sabotaging and just sabotaging altogether. Val, the reason why I think she takes it on her responsibility to fix the relationship is because she is a part of the Asian culture where they are about the collective. They're about sacrificing emotions for the collective. That is the traditional approach in Asian culture. That's just like a non-verbal rule in the Asian culture is like we do what's right for the family. Therefore, her not wanting to display and talk about her intimacy, Johnny, who's more attached to Western culture and Americanized, is about I want to be open about my vulnerability, my emotions, and everything. Otherwise, it's not the truth. And that's just not the case. Where I think they both could have learned from this is compromise. I think Bao could have seen, okay, this is my husband. This really bothers him. Though I don't think he vocalized it very well. He just called her fake. He didn't really explain the situation. And I think what she could have done is compromise. She could have said, okay, I'm willing to do this. And I think that's kind of Bao's Achilles' heel is sometimes she is controlling or she's just so controlled about her image that she can't let things breathe. And I think in a partnership, let it breathe, girl. Like, let compromise and just be willing to see, okay, if this is my partner, if it really bothers him, maybe we can talk about some things. So I'm assuming they consummated their marriage a lot earlier than was portrayed on the show. Johnny, again, he never takes accountability. I really can't say anything about him because I don't think he learned anything. I think if there's anyone who needed therapy on this show, it was him. So it's like he didn't learn anything. He didn't really take anything from it. He's still blaming Bao. None of it's her responsibility to take on all of those issues that he's projecting onto her. Yeah, really, that's all there is to say to it. I hope he one day sees the folly of his ways. So apparently he's dating, and that's another reason why I don't think he learned anything. He's dating already, and I'm like, you shouldn't be dating. You're not ready to date anyone. You have so much work to do, and obviously you have a lot of work to do because you still brought issues to the reunion and blamed Bao. I just don't get it. This is Bao's fault. That's Bao's fault. Everything's just Bao's fault. No, it's not. None of it's Bao's fault. All of that is your projection onto her. So yeah, Johnny, we're tired of you. You know what's interesting about Johnny is Johnny, to me, he would be fun to hang out with. He seems like a fun guy. He seems like a good friend. And even Bao respectfully said, I think he's a great guy. No, girl, he's not. He's not a great guy. He's a fun guy, not a great guy, because a great guy would be a lot more considerate of your emotions. He would be fun to hang out with, but he makes a terrible marriage partner and romantic partner, in my opinion. And we'll talk about him later in the Where Are They Now, because I have a few words. I have a few words about him and Sarah. Which, by the way, my first guess was like, oh, he must be dating Sarah, but I think Sarah's married, so I don't think he's dating Sarah. Again, my thing about Bao, so obviously her expression was very like, the expression of resentment. A woman's resentment. Michaela, Bao, a woman's resentment is no... It is no laughing matter. It is no light matter. A woman's resentment is intense. It's like she can go from loving you to hating you. And In this case, Bal's resentment is very clear. My thing about that to Michaela and Bal and all of the women on this season is watch for that resentment. Don't let it take away your joy. Do not let it take away your joy. Like, Johnny is in his own world, moving on with his life. Bal, you need to have been done the same times 10 because there's nothing you need to give to the situation. There's nothing that needs to be investigated. I just need you to be decisive about feeling worthy of your own happiness, feeling worthy of that life, that dream, that fairy tale that you've always wanted. It's us self-sabotaging that belief that gets in our way of obtaining it when we just don't believe we're worthy of it. And I have moments in my life where I'm just like, which this week I was in my emotions for sure. And I just have to remind myself to feel it, because sometimes it takes a minute. Like, sometimes you have to feel that rejection or you have to feel that unworthiness because maybe you had to be a perfectionist to portray this certain image because you needed to feel worthy, and you need to let that go. But Val clearly was not happy with Johnny. She said she's moved on in dating, but you can tell she was still hurting. And I'm like, girl, you don't need to let that hurt. We all know he is just not balanced. So you deserve 10 times better. All right, so I wish the best for Val and Johnny. Moving on to Myrla and Gil, the polarizing, controversial couple. Actually, sorry, I take it back. Moving on to Rachel and Jose. Dr. Pepper called Jose out on needing professional help for his anger, which I'm glad she did that. The way that the professionals, and I've caught on, by the way, I love the format of all three professionals being there, giving intensive therapy to these couples. I feel like they're stronger together than by themselves. I want to see that format throughout the show. I think that would be great. So with Rachel and Jose, I'm glad she called him out, but I really get the vibe that the experts are not just like therapists to them, they're also coaches and friends. So they tend to treat the contestants really kindly, but sometimes I'm like, you just need to give it to him. Like, stop being so nice, please. The man verbally and emotionally abused his wife. So not okay. And the fact that she gave him a second chance, a miracle, amazing. Dr. Vivian is saying, oh, you were really mean. We saw it. No, no, no. He was abusive. It's a little bit different. The man was abusive. He cussed her out and told her to get out and then locked her out while pretending to be asleep while she was trying to unlock the door or knock on the door. Mm-mm-mm. No, no, no. You are going to be called out for that. They try to call him out. They're like, Pastor Cal was all like, oh, you can be domineering. No, no, no. It's not you can. He is. He is domineering. Call him out. Obviously, he knows he's in trouble. He's all sitting next to Rachel, flinching anxiously, twitching every 5 seconds because this is probably the first time he's really being called out on his nasty ways and behavior that no one else has ever seen. He's probably excused, and yes, he has been excusing this thing. It's like, how can you excuse something that's so egregious? If you can excuse that, like the little passive-aggressive things, I'm worried about those. So Rachel is very emotionally intelligent. She said, okay, I detect that there's some passive aggressiveness happening in a relationship. We hold things in and we let things out. She knows, she can feel it. She's in tune with it. But girl, you're being way too nice. Way too nice. And one of the experts asked Rachel what that was. When, like, what do you think that is when Jose is talking to her in a condescending tone? And she's like, oh, I think he means I want to help you out. That was the first thing she said. I want to help you out. No, if someone is speaking to you in a condescending tone, it's more of coming from a place of, sorry to say it, you're stupid or I know better than you. You're stupid or I know better than you. That is not respect. Too nice. And too nice will get you in trouble. Again, I've talked about this in my previous reviews. Women, that dark feminine energy is very useful. Bring it out. And the resentment is part of that too, but do something with it. Take action, set up your boundaries, let this person know what you deserve. I think Rachel is trying to do that, but I also think that she's still, the reason why I think she's going back and forth on it, honestly, I think it's just the self-worth. I don't think she's fully set on the idea or understanding that she's deserving of a lot more. And I think it makes it more difficult because she has this marital, official commitment to this man. I wish the best for Rachel and Jose. Whether they stay together or not, I'm not 100% sure. But really, a lot of work, a lot of therapy, a lot of continuing to date your wife, let's be honest. Moving on to Myrla and Gil. So this is the last controversial, I think, the last controversial polarizing couple, because everyone's like, okay, do we take Myrla's side? Do we take Gil's side? Like, whose side do we take? And it's because no one's right. No one's wrong. There's no hero. There's no villain. Everyone is the hero and villain of their own story. And I'm going to explain that more in this experience between the two of them. Gil was very emotional, very upset, especially when he saw the video of Myrla saying that, oh, he makes the bed. He got flowers for me. He opens my door. And it was so weird. It's almost as if he didn't even know that she was that grateful. And I think this speaks to the fact that Myrla has issues with communication and communication with vulnerability and emotional connection. So not just the fuzzy, warm stuff, also the criticism too, or the feedback that he needs to hear, because he was just blindsided. He had no idea. Now, Dr. Pepper, all of the experts got in her. And Dr. Pepper actually straight up called her and asked her, was it about the money? And I don't think it was about the money for Myrla. I mean, I think she was giving an honest reaction. The thing about Myrla is she doesn't like drama. Therefore, she wasn't going to bring up her issues in front of the camera, in front of everyone. Therefore, when the experts ask her, she's going to be very professional. She's going to set the emotions aside, and she's going to be very direct about, what it is that is and is not working. Very factual. So she's very introverted. She doesn't like drama, and therefore I don't think she ever had any intention of trying to be vindictive or hurt Gil. And we'll talk about her behavior later with Johnny, but she's only ever talked Gil up. She's talked about how attractive and a great guy he is. And when they were talking about the DMs, she was just laughing along and joking with them. She's never talked down about him, ever. So I think when people are talking about Myrla, read between the lines. She's an introvert. She doesn't display everything on TV. They thought she was cold-hearted. She wasn't as compassionate. She could have been more compassionate and considerate towards Gil. I think there were a couple of things that came up when he was being very emotional. The reason why she wasn't super expressive about reaching over to him or comforting him is, one, because of boundaries. This is her ex-husband. She doesn't want to mislead him or even hurt him further. She said something, but Pastor Cal cut her off about, I want him to be with someone he deserves or loves. Or look, she knows what it is. We can't make two people want to be together. If her instincts are saying it's not working, it's not working. Let them move on. Her reasoning was that she didn't feel, specifically after decision day, there was something that happened, I think, that disappointed her, that he did, that made her feel unsafe about making financial decisions. And the thing is, because money is a huge drive in her life, I think that did cause a rift and a bit of fear to spike up in her and concern. And look, I'm not going to get on Myrla about money. Finances are extremely important in a relationship. You need to be ready to have a family, to have a marriage, to afford the lifestyle. And especially her, she's at that stage of, I'm ready to have kids. When you're choosing a partner who is financially stable, you're also choosing the future of your life, peace of mind, less stress, the future of your kids, and the future of your kids' kids. Now, while Gil displays provider protective qualities, he's not really in the place to have a family yet because he's still building, point blank. I feel like her instincts were right. She said, I didn't feel safe. And the thing is, she didn't want to explain it more. He might have fumbled or did something clumsy, and she just didn't really explain it in detail. But that's why I'm not going to get on her, because I think she's been very respectful about the way she's discussed the financial matters with her and Gil. The only thing that was confusing about what Myrla said was about, she said that he was happy, but she's not happy. Is she going to stay in a relationship where she's not happy? In the previous reunion part 1, she said that he was miserable. So I was kind of confused about that languaging. Was he happy? Was he miserable? Like, what was it? I'm guessing it was a combination of both. I did like what Pastor Cal said about happiness not being the goal of marriage. Absolutely. Because marriage is like this, right? It's like that. It's not going to be happy all the time. Again, there's the stability, there's the neutrality, there's the things are pretty good, things are doing okay, and you have to be willing to ride all of those different waves. Without a doubt, Myrla's biggest issue is communication and communicating and verbalizing her emotions, those vulnerable emotions, whether it's feedback, criticism, or the softer side of her. She also said, he didn't bring out the best in me. So someone said in my comment section last week from my previous video, and I would have to agree with them, that when he was telling her about this and that, she kept saying, I receive it, I receive it. But she wasn't really receiving it. All of this while, she was developing frustration. And I think this is, again, part of introvertedness. If you're super introverted and closed off and maybe not trusting, maybe because she didn't have that masculine, she didn't have her father in her life to show her what it felt like to be protected by masculine energy, then she's used to protecting herself, then she won't know how to find that or see that or feel that in a relationship, right? Again, I think that's her issue, is like being with that masculine energy. She doesn't know how to feel protected by that. She was developing some emotions, and she could have communicated that. She could have gave him a chance to maybe change. I think that is important to note. If someone doesn't bring out the best in you, they may not be for you, because at the very least, especially in the honeymoon phase, that should be a giveaway. Like, this person just makes me feel so good. She did say that he was doing a lot to make her happy and she felt happy, but specifically after decision day, some things happened that were instinctually did not feel good for her. For Gil, again, he was like very emotional. He was very emotional about how he was feeling. He was surprised, blindsided. I mean, I feel for him, but I don't feel that bad. And the reason why I don't feel that bad is part of, like, the opinionated part of me wants to be like, they were only together for like 2 to 3 months, right? Like, and she didn't say she loved you, so my thing is that Gil and Myrla have 2 different philosophies in life. Myrla is about the up and up, right? She moves on quick. She's about her happiness and about doing what feels good, what feels exciting for her. I'm not against people being happy. I'm like, if you're happy, that makes you happy, go for it. Whereas Gil, right, he's about the humbling energy. He has a way of perhaps holding on to the past. When you're holding on to the past, you can't move up into the future. So what I think Gil did also, when he would call Myrla high maintenance, she didn't feel loved when he would say that. When he was calling her that, he was also deselecting himself as a partner. And this is the part that we need to, like, Gil. When you're calling her high maintenance, you're saying you dated people like you. You're basically saying, well, not only are you showing that you have a lack of respect for her, you don't see her as equal, but you're saying she's different from you, right? You're not on the same page. So you're deselecting yourself from the relationship, the partnership. When you deselect yourself, if you're criticizing your partner or whatever, they're going to turn attention elsewhere where they feel loved. Something that we have to be much more cognizant of. You know, he thought he was giving feedback and that she was receiving it, but no, it did not make her feel loved. You are telling her that you're different from her. She wants to be with someone who has the same values, the same goals in life. That's my criticism towards Gil. And then also to emphasize, finances are very important. You want to make sure those are together. When you're choosing a financially stable partner, you're choosing for your kids. So, like, choose wisely. I forgot to talk about Brett and Ryan. So while the girls were all hanging out together, I don't really have anything about Ryan, but I have something to say about Brett. Myrla talked about how it's not important for her to have nice things. For her, it's all about, I can have what I want. If it makes me happy, I can buy it. And if I can create that lifestyle for myself where it's convenient, I want to be able to buy it. I want to be able to afford it. And I love that philosophy. I love that approach to seeing things. And also, I've also noticed that Myrla is kind of a minimalist when she dresses. If you've noticed, she's very simple in her dressing. So she's not about piling on nice things. She's just about, I get to have high quality, nice things in my life and enjoy them. And then something that Brett said, so I guess we're going to just transition on to Brett and Ryan. Something that Brett said is that what she really appreciates about Myrla is that she's authentically, or she's unapologetically herself. And I was actually saying that in my previous reviews that it seemed like Brett had a habit of kind of repressing her energy or pulling herself back because apparently, like she said, when people aren't displaying that emotional connection with her, she turns off. She's done. They get nothing from her. And I would like to encourage her. I would like to encourage her not to close herself off. If someone is not responding to you, you can redirect your energy maybe, but I wouldn't say that they're not going to get anything from you. It makes it sound as if she just closes herself off. So I think that's just something that women often do, is they have a tendency to close off if they don't feel emotionally safe. And the thing is, if you're so closed off, you won't be able to attract that person into your life because you have to be open. You know, people don't want to come and invade your energy. They want to be a part of your experience, be a part of your energy. And so if you continue to still be open to receiving, you'll still continuously attract people who are attracted to you. So that's just something I wanted to say about that. And that's it. That is my review for the reunion part 1. Sorry, the reunion part 2. So I'm going to come back and I'm going to do a review for the Where Are They Now? And unload all of that. And then I'm also going to come back and do a deep dive for Myrla and Gil. Because, again, I think the two of them were so polarizing because we're just like, oh, but he's just so emotional and vulnerable and we want to care for him. Which, by the way, let me go back. Let me do my final notes real quick. Apparently, Myrla is being seen, especially as a villain, because she's being so affectionate or physically affectionate towards Johnny. Now, I don't know if they're dating. I honestly can't tell. She's called him besties. I feel like when a girl puts a guy in the friend zone, it's kind of like you're in the friend zone. It is what it is. So I don't really get that vibe that they're dating. If they are dating, then so be it. I'm wrong. I really think, girl, you could do better if that is the case. Again, Johnny seems like a fun guy to hang. I would hang out with him, but I would not. I'd like, to the girl who got in a relationship, I'd be like, girl, good luck. Good luck. You're on your own. You're gonna need a lot of emotional support. Was Myrla being inappropriate by being so affectionate with Johnny and laughing? Look, the girl is glowing. She's happy. And again, she's going in this trajectory and following that momentum, whereas Gil is following this momentum. And this is where I feel like you're responsible for your own emotions. Like, Gil can decide to change things. Yes, he may feel broken. And honestly, I feel like he feels more broken about being not wanted and about the marriage failing than he is about Myrla leaving because they weren't compatible. There was that underlying respect that was missing from the relationship. And I understand he missed all the signs because guys tend to read the surface. If you tell them that things are doing good, they're going to assume things are doing good. And she didn't give him a chance to decide or change. And he was right in that sense. It wasn't exactly fair to him. Now, I'm not going to call her out. I'm not going to be like, oh, she's bad. She's not bad. To me, it's neither here nor there. I think she was just really elated and happy. She never talked him down. She always just talked him up. And I think she was just having fun. She should have been more considerate, more compassionate about her ex-husband being right there. Because he was more broken up about the relationship. Just be considerate of that. Even if you're happy, just be a little bit more considerate. And that's all I have to say about that. So that is my official review for Married at First Sight. Thank you guys so much for joining in. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe down below. Don't miss my reviews. And also comment and share in the discussion. Also, I hope you guys have had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Thank you so much for watching. Have a beautiful day or evening. Bye. Also, I would love to add in, whether it's a face, a furry face, or a favorite place, my artworks are treasured keepsakes, unique and tailored to your most treasured memories. I do portrait commissions that are gifted from and created with heart. So go ahead and check out my website. I'll go ahead and link down below. You guys can see if you're interested in me doing commissions for you. Also, I sell my own fine art, which is a labor of love. My artwork tends to lean towards identity and healing. So if you're interested in checking that out, then go ahead and look at my link down below. All right, I hope you guys have a wonderful day or evening. Thank you for watching and tune in for next week for the next review of Married at First Sight. Bye.